This is a tutorial for the layered butterfly blitz effect. On the screen is an example of what the final results of this tutorial could look like. Each one will look a little different because you can make different changes along the way, make different choices, and of course the brush will be kind of put in different places each time. But this is a pretty good idea of what you could end up with in the end. Step 1 is to open a new document, File New. I just chose the US paper version, left all the settings as they were, and that's what you see here on the screen. Alright, so to begin, the first thing we're going to do is come down here and change our color swatches to a bright yellow. You can choose any color you want. Actually, I didn't even do it there. Okay, pick the yellow. Good. I'm going to start with yellow because that's going to cycle the colors. The actual brush we're going to use, which I'll show you in just a moment, starts with what color you choose, and then it cycles through a rainbow of colors as you kind of click and drag the brush around. So step 2 then is to pick the paintbrush tool from the toolbar, and then make sure that you select this special effect brush called the butterfly. If you do not have the special effect brush butterfly, then follow me here. This little black arrow at the top of the brushes palette. Open it up, scroll down to special effect brushes, and click append. I'm going to click cancel for me because I already have them added. Once you do that, you're going to get a series of brushes that do some special things. This one, the little butterfly, we're going to start with, well, I think I'll type it in, 2000 pixels, nice and big. And then you can see here that as I click it on the screen, it starts to kind of fill. Okay, nice and big. I want to cover about 75% of the screen, so that's pretty good. And then the effect that we're trying to create here is because they're so big, we're kind of trying to fill the space, and then each layer we put on here, the butterflies will get smaller and smaller and create some different effect as they lay over top of each other. So once I have the 75% or so of the background filled, I'm going to filter it with a little bit of a blur, because things in the background should be quite blurry. So I'm going to choose the box blur from the filter menu. And you can see there I set the radius for 75 pixels. Click OK. And you might want to do that a couple of times. Box blur again. So it's real kind of fuzzed out. You don't want to really see a lot of edges. Okay, next we're going to put another layer. So in my layers palette here, I'm going to choose new layer, that little new layer symbol. So now I'm going to start painting on a different layer of butterflies. This time I'm going to take them down to 1,000. Okay, so about half the size that they were before. And this time I want to draw in a C shape. So I'm just going to kind of take my mouse, kind of draw it in sort of a C shape over the page. You'll notice that they're very random. This brush doesn't do everything in a straight line. It kind of jitters the brush as you move it. All right, so I've got those. And then on this one, I'm going to change the layer mode here to darken. Okay, so you can kind of see how where the colors match with the layer underneath, they kind of do a little pixel adjustment, and that's why you'll see some of these turn darker and some of them turn lighter in little spots. Okay, so that turned out kind of cool. We're going to repeat that process now. One more layer. Change the brush size. This time we're going to go down to 500, so half of that one. And this time we're going to do an S shape across the screen. But before I do that, I think I want to drop the opacity down just a little bit. We're going to make these just a little bit more transparent and maybe not flowing so fast. So an S shape, I'm going to start up here. S. Okay, just like that. And then on this layer, I'm going to choose, instead of normal, I'm going to go to lighten this time. So now you can kind of see the dark ones, the light ones kind of overlap each other. Now they're creating some very interesting layers. Okay, I'm going to do one more layer. So hit the new layer button. This time I'm going to change my brush to 200 pixels. Okay, and now this time instead of drawing a shape or dragging it around, I'm just going to click in random spots around this layer and just kind of fill in some of the empty spaces. Down here we didn't get too many. I'm fill in a few spots in here. Okay. That looks pretty good. Okay. And this time, instead of normal, lighten or darken, I'm going to come down here to color burn. Okay. And I don't know if I necessarily like that. Maybe darker. You can even try a bunch of different ones just to see what works best. Overlay, that kind of makes them disappear almost. Linear light. Ooh, I kind of like that one. I think I'll leave linear light for this one. Okay. That's it. It's just really a matter of layering up all these different butterflies on different layers. You can also choose different, kind of compare these side to side, different brushes. This one I chose to do the same effect, only this time I used the heart-shaped brush that I downloaded. And it just did the same thing. I just made it kind of randomly all over, bigger, smaller, using blurs, changing the blending layers, layer modes, lighten, darken, color pop, until I got a nice effect that I like. So don't feel like you just have to use butterflies if you're not a butterfly person. There's lots of different filter and brush shapes that you can use instead. Okay, try it out. Have a little fun with it.